Hello, everyone. Welcome to Loud and Proud Orlando. It's Monday, April the 7th, 6:38 p.m. Thank you so much for your support. We're about 20 people live right now. My name is Luis Carlos Pineda. I'll be your host today. I'm here with John and Paola. We come with a really good form for Orlando City. They faced a top contender in the East, top contender in the MLS, the Philadelphia Union. Today, we will be talking about the review of the game Philly against Orlando City. We also will have your OCB update as we have every week now. And also, near Redbulls at home, the lineup, score predictions, and more. I'm here with John. I'm here with Paola. John, how are you? Good to see you again, my friend.
Good man. I am very good. Happy week here for me. I will actually not be at the Red Bulls game on Saturday because I will be getting married on Saturday. So
Man,
I wasn't able to watch this one because I was having my stag do on Saturday. It was fun, lots of fun. So I got to catch a bit of it later. But yeah, excited to talk all about that. It's gonna be a big week for me. But yeah, Orlando City, man. A game. If I have to miss a game, a 0-0, I'll always happily miss a 0-0.
for sure. What about you, Paola? How are you?
Doing fantastic after that result on the road. And happy for you, John, that you're getting married. Welcome to the married life, bro.
I know, right? Well, it's gonna be quite of it's gonna be great, man. I mean, I think the best advice I could give you is just sometimes you just have to say yes, man. You know.
Oh
I
yeah,
was gonna say yes,
no, no,
dear,
yeah,
yes, dear, and yes, dear.
yeah,
Just
yeah,
saying.
no, yeah. I'm very well trained from that. Yeah.
Anyways, talking about marriages and good performances and all that good stuff. Well, Orlando City uh, landed a phenomenal draw. I think it was the best defensive game they've ever had. A lot of the pundits are really surprised now with this new Orlando City form, how they take this Philadelphia Union that I will say um, their system is copy paste from St. Louis, from the first version of St. Louis, which went into a huge run. So it just seems very, very similar. But this Orlando City, with two unexpected substitutions, or coming out of the gate, no Araujo, no Atuesta. Gerbe and Dagodan Thorhausen were thrown in there as really, last minute backup. Dagodan playing in his original position, the position in which he came to Orlando City to play for, and then Jordan Gerbe, which has been more than a pleasant surprise, I'll say. I think this kid was completely ready. I think Oscar and his staff knew about it already. They wanted to bring him last year. They couldn't yet. This year they did bring him in, and he was, like I said before, plug and play. I made it really impressive what Gerbe did. To me, one of the best players in the game against Philly. For starters, John, what were your thoughts on this performance by the Lions?
Well, having kind of got like seen the result and then going back and watching it and looking at it and kind of wondering like, you know, how we got a 0-0. I didn't even realize until I started watching the game that this had come out. Like I briefly looked at the lineups and I hadn't even really clocked it, and so I looked at it later and was like, oh, we got a 0-0 with Dagger and Gerbe in the midfield. Like it against a very high scoring Philly team. Like this, they'd scored 13 goals up until this point.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely shows that we've got the depth there. Um, a strange situation to have both Cesar and Atuesta pull out last minute with whatever they had, knocks or whatever, or maybe they're just playing it safe from the coaching staff to then put in two, surprise mids. I mean, Oscar talked about they had a little bit of time, but usually you got one guy who's out and we're replacing him. This was a double switch in that midfield, and I think they seem to have handled it pretty well. And I think Dagger, like, I don't know why people are surprised when Dagger can play midfield. He is a midfielder. I don't, just because you right back for 2 years, he doesn't forget how to be midfielder. You know what I mean? And Jerome Gervais just continues to show, more and more to what he can do, and he's a solid backup. I feel comfortable if we need, Cesar is out, that Gervais can step in and do a pretty good job as the guy who's going to break up the play. I mean, both of them, you can tell that they spent a lot of effort in this game just being defensively solid. Like Oscar asked them, I know you guys can play on the ball, but the main thing I want you to do is stop Philly coming through the center of the park. And they did that well. So congratulations to them.
Drop your comments, drop us a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. It wasn't the third win in a row, but it was definitely Orlando now is unbeaten 4 games, Paola. Obviously, in a bit of a shocker with starting lineups got announced, as John was saying. Cesar Araujo and Eduardo Atuesta. I do want to say, per club sources, they felt, Oscar felt, and they told Oscar they had some discomfort and their thighs. One of them was in their thighs. The other one was on another part of the body, or below the belt. If they're very tight, they didn't wake up from the right side of the bed, it seems. So Oscar, and again, it shows the trust Oscar has for this young Orlando City. They know that whoever's the next man up is able to step up and have a game just like Duran Gervais and Dagradan had. So he said, you know what, this season's long. We need you guys. Stay here, and then they'll handle the load. And it really paid off dividends. So I wanted to ask you, Paula, what do you thought about those two playing, and also David Brecalo coming a left back for Rafa Santos?
I mean, it's shocking to expect your typical lineup and then an hour earlier from the game, mystery box, Araujo and Atuesta is not gonna play, and I'm like, oh great, thank you. So I was a little bit concerned, and this is why, because Philly has been the most, I think, is the team that had, like, offensively has the most goals up to the season. So that's why I was like, oh shoot, it's fine. Dagerdan's natural position is midfielder. We're gonna be fine there. But Gervais is a rookie, right? So in my head, I'm like, let's see how it's played out. At some point of the season, they needed to step up, and what a good game to step up and showcase your, even more talent, because Gervais, he had minutes, but not as long minutes as we have seen him in this game. So for me, I think it was a curveball for them. I don't think they knew an hour earlier. I think in practice, probably they said, hey, there's a possibility you're going to play in the midfield for 90 minutes. Let's get you polished, whatever. So for me, it was a good game for both. It gets into his mind of Gervais, right? I'm talking specifically of Gervais being a rookie. He like, it gets solid in his head, his confidence for future roles like he needs to play in this type of situation. Brecalo side, sometimes he was a little bit confused, but hey, I'm not going to be hard on him. He's playing left back, a new total position that he hasn't played before. It's not the same as being central defensive. So kudos to Brecalo. He tried to hold the fort, and he did. And I feel more confident him of being a left back than Rafa Santos. That means a lot. So for me, phenomenal game for all those three players that came up and say, hey, I'm gonna be present in the game. And hey, clean sheet. We haven't had a clean sheet in the entire season. So kudos for them. I'm happy what I saw on Saturday.
Well, Oscar Pereja gets a lot of slack because sometimes for some people he doesn't make the right calls or right substitutions. Well, I think the credit on this defensive lockdown was to Oscar, and I feel the way that he trusts his boys. Dagardan, Gervais, Brecalo, that goes a long way. Having that trust, that your coach has that big of a trust in you as a player motivates you to play really well for him. So I feel like that's one thing Oscar does very well. The group is ready to step in when needed. Now, the majority of the first half, and I want to kind of ask that to John, it wasn't really the best half for Orlando City. I mean, I think Philly was the best team. They dominated possession. They dominated also. They outshot the Lions 9 shots to 1. and Orlando turned over the ball tremendously. And I do want to say, it's the first game I see both Angulo and Freeman outmanned in a big way, because a lot of the loose balls and turnovers were coming through that side. And Pedro Gallese came alive. I felt like Pedro Gallese came alive. He had a bunch of saves, good saves. To hold the fort down. I don't know, what are your thoughts regarding that? I felt Harriel, John, was more of like he was the first player. It seems like that physically gave, which is an Orlando native, and I didn't know this. Harriel is an Orlando native. I did not know this, but Harriel is an Orlando native. Faced against Freeman, and I felt in the first half Harriel gave Freeman a run for his money. I don't know what are your thoughts regarding that.
Yeah, man, I agree. I mean, you can tell that like physically they match up. I mean, I've seen him play for the U.S. national team a few times, and they often use him in that role of the case of like he's just such a big outside back that he can cover. He does have the ability to go forward. He's not known for his ability to go forward. Like Alex has more of that, but definitely a good matchup there. And like you said, it's gonna take somebody like that to be able to keep up with Alex, but also they need the skill level to be able to actually tackle him and all of that as well. So it was good to see. I like the fact that we went into this like we're playing David Brecalo as a left back, but what is very common and something that we see with Orlando Pride as well is that we form it into a 3-back with 2 wing backs on the side. That really benefits Alex a lot on the right side, because then he's just like right wing back, which is essentially the perfect position for him. Yes, he still has to defend, but it's not as much as it would be in a 4-back. Angulo then should take advantage of being the left wing back in that scenario. And once again, man, he's just, I don't know what is up with him this year, but
I agree with you.
He's not producing at all. And like, the numbers from this game, it's not good, man. Like accurate passes, half of them, 50%, 3 out of 6 were accurate passes. And, I would always give him the benefit of the doubt on the other side of the ball. But even that, like 0 tackles. Angulo didn't make a tackle in this game, according to the stats here. So
he forgot to defend.
Where's the interceptions? Where's all that? Like, if Oscar, the only reason he has him in there is to do that, and like we forgive perhaps that he isn't the most attacking talented player because he does the defensive work. So if the defensive work isn't there from Angulo, I'm really struggling to see what he's bringing. And this formation should be the perfect situation for him. We've seen him dominate in that left wing back situation before. He's got David Brecalo there to help him out a bit. We haven't got Santos. He's not going to cover Santos all the time. David covered the left. Like, he did a really good job there. So then Angulo has to join the attack. He has to get forward, and it just was another nothing game from him. So, but I like the option to shift into the 3-back. I think that really helps Alex. I think you do have to have your D mids be a little bit more defensive there. So that's something to watch, but very, very good tactics from Oscar in this one. Different, and the last thing I will say that you talked about Pedro. I agree, man. This was a keeper's game for sure. Him and Blake, like
Phenomenal.
It could have gone either way, and both of them made
Blake was great too.
Several great, really just shot-stopping saves. It was just a lot of last-minute reaction saves, and they both those guys kept their teams in it, and that's just how you end up with a 0-0, despite the fact that both of these teams have got goals in them.
No, I do want to say that I agree with you 110%, and I will read the comments in just a second. Drop us your thumbs up. Angulo has dropped tremendously. I think this is the first game that I actually realized like he really didn't really play at all. It's like playing with 10 men sometimes. I feel he needs to step up a little bit. And I mean, if you ask me, who is the other person that can cover him? I mean, the most obvious answer would be Ramiro Enrique. I mean, I would say Yutaro Tsukada. Unfortunately, Yutaro Tsukada, he's injured. he's SCI, but definitely Ramiro Enrique could. He's right footed, but he has scored goals with the left, so he played with both feet. So look, we're playing New York Red Bulls, and I know I'm getting too ahead here, and I'll read the comments in just a second. But I mean, this is a game that's at home in front of your fans. Fans are going to be there, probably around 20,000 people. Put the best lineup possible. I mean, just like I'm sure after this great performance, Araujo and Atuesta feel confident. Hey, we have there's two people right behind us that are going to perform well, and also that could take our spot. Literally, because Dagger and Gerbe, I'm sure if you ask them, they want to play starting position. Same with Angulo. He's played 2 seasons as a starter already. I think it's time for him to kind of light a fire up a little bit and just see maybe what Ramiro can do on the left. I think it's time, because when we'll talk about the schedule in just a moment, but the schedule is going to get easier and tougher. So we have some matchups that are a little complicated, and everybody's going to be out going gunning for blood against Orlando City because they want to see us down. So we just got to put the right people, the people that have the best momentum, and I think we should give a vote of trust to Ramiro Enrique. So let's read some comments real quick. To be Yanis says, tough game, but I'm glad we took a point. Angulo just seems like the only one regressing. There you go. Salty H2O. Angulo looked like the worst on the team. David Albury, I didn't like how many second chances we didn't win, though. Yeah, you're completely right there. The second rebound, we didn't win anything either. I mean, it's like high press versus high press. Although I really like the nutmeg of Pasalic. That was sick. Yeah, that was so sick. I didn't, it says, I'm glad your Bay got a game in and looked good, says Ervega. Salty H2O, Brecalo makes some sick tackles. What do you think about that, Paola? I mean, look, I think the ability of Brecalo is he's able to do those tackles, but without fouling, which is great. It's kind of like having a Robin Jensen, but on the left as a left back. I don't know. What are your thoughts about Brecalo? I thought he
I
did.
mean, I like what I saw on that game from Brecalo, and the way that he was going into the box trying to pass that ball. Like, they couldn't study him right in that position, let's say, and they were like, what this dude is doing. Like, they couldn't defend him. And then the way that he tackled super clean. So you don't see that type of tackling from Rafa Santos in that side. So I will take all the way Brecalo against Santos all the time. So if you ask me, I will put Brecalo back in that
Yeah, I
position.
think I would like to see, and we'll do the starting 11. I would like to see Ramiro and Brecalo on that side, see what they can do together. Gerbe looked great. Dagerdan did amazing as well. Congratulations to David Albury, probably to John. Can't wait to be back in the wall this weekend. Stalemate to Stream Jesus. All love. There you go, Stream Jesus. How you doing, my friend? Salty, you ain't lying, man. This has never been happier about a 0-0 game. Vamos Orlando. Thank you so much, guys, for your comments. So, Jordan Gerbe, he is no stranger to pressure. Number one, he comes from France, so he likes good food. He likes good food. He likes art, and he likes good pastries. Right now, also, he is 2024 first team All-American. So one of the best sixes in the league. Well, in the NCAA. Mac Herman Trophy semifinalist. So he was right there to get the Herman Trophy. An ACC Midfielder of the Year and two-time All-ACC selection and two-time All-ACC tournament selection. So this kid they spotted this kid already, I think 2 seasons ago, and Oscar's been able to bring him this year. So they already kind of knew what Jordan could bring to the table, and he's definitely panning out. He's paying high dividends. the way he played this game, and I know if I don't know if I sound too far fetched for you guys, but I feel like he could play in any other MLS team as a starter. Like, if you think about, look at New England, look at Galaxy, look, look, he could play in any. I mean, they will benefit so much of having a Gervais.
You know, he'd be running Club La Trash if he was there.
Exactly. Yeah, 110%.
That's like Montreal's dream. He's French. He's cheap. He's free. They'll take him. Like that's. But I agree, man. He has impressed, and I think I said it before. Like it makes a lot more sense why we let the other guy go, Kaczewski. But we were concerned about the D mid, right? And we've been concerned without Cesar and Atuesta, even just like the
And without
depth.
Cartagena, actually.
Yeah, the depth this year has always been like, something that we haven't really talked about in a while, but the transfer window is still open, but there's been no news and nothing has happened. And it doesn't seem like there's anybody coming in. So we got to rely on our 2D mids. And yeah, I mean, Dagger is useful everywhere. So really, Giron is like the second, he's the first backup, right? He's the first one that Oscar's going to throw in, I think, because he would rather save Dagger and then be able to use him as a sub or whatever. So if Giron can step in and be at the level of what Cesar does, I don't think he could do what Atuesta does. Maybe a little bit, but mainly the role that Cesar provides. If he could do that, great. I mean, that's what we want. And there's going to be games again where, injuries will happen, et cetera, et cetera. And so far, when he's had 2 games where he's played, Giron Gervais has really stepped up and impressed a lot of people. So good for him, and long may it continue. But I think that's a trend here, man. All these youth, at the beginning of the year, Oscar said, "Oh, we're gonna have all the youth be good this year," and I chuckled.
Yeah,
I laughed. I said, "What?"
And I bet it's okay, and you just thought about the youth this year, I understand, but I mean, it's panning out tremendously. Like the first half was terrible for Orlando. I feel the second half it started slowly growing, and the game ended with 58% possession for Philly to 42% possession of Orlando. Like a complete different, Orlando, and I don't know if you feel the same way, Paola. I feel the reason why the possession and the XG and all of that grew for Orlando City in the second half tremendously was because as Philly was exerting all this energy faster, Orlando, I feel like this group of kids are fit. Like they are healthy, like they train hard, and they were able to withstand longer. They could have kept going for a couple of minutes longer than the 90, if anything. And you could see them outpacing some of the Philly players that were already kind of on the outs with their tongue out, a little tired. I don't know if you felt the same way, but I felt like that's exactly what happened, especially in the second half with the substitutions.
Definitely. And remember, we play in the heat, in the humidity, in the worst of the worst of weather to train. But at the end of the day, it's a benefit for us because in this type of weather, it was kind of cloudy over there. So, I mean, they were fresh. And Philly was like caught off breath. So, I mean, kudos to them, right? They blasted their energy the first 45 minutes, and then we were like, you know what? We have gas still in the tank. Let's tackle this, boys. So that's what they did.
No, we got a lot of yellow cards in this game as well.
I mean, we knew that it was gonna be physical. I mean, like we said it in the last pod. Like we wanted blood. There's the blood, like physical yellow cards. So
yeah.
And what a game for Colin Gusky to make his debut, John.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that. I was like, wow. He comes in the 90th minute. I mean, I feel like the subs, was smart for him to bring on Kyle Smith. That at some point we really go a bit more defensive because we, and they put everything on, man. Look at these subs.
Yeah,
they played every single piece they had in that last, 20, 30 minutes. So, and they still weren't able to break us through. So it was, I really didn't expect us to be able to go there and get a clean sheet. I was thinking the clean sheet will come, but I don't think anybody had any expectations. Like every single preview show of this was all talking about this is going to be goals. Everybody thought it was going to be full of goals. People betting on the over of 2+ goals. Like it's that level of confidence of like, oh, both for Philly and Orlando are going to score. So I think we are probably the ones happier here in this scenario. I think your
Mhm.
Philly fans are like, why couldn't we score against the worst? Apparently, right up until this point, were we like the worst defense in MLS or something? Like we were down there on the defensive stats. So Philly are probably frustrated that they couldn't score against a team that they were looking at weak defensively. And on another day, if Blake, but could be said the same for Pedro too. But if Blake hadn't made a couple key saves, especially that one against Pasalic, where it was really just that perfect ball from Ojeda, and he had that shot low and hard. I thought that's the one. But another day he gets that, and then we stealing a 1-0 away at Philly with a great defensive result, and the whole league would be turning their heads. So a really good result, even despite not getting that goal. The 0-0 is still a solid result for us here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, good teams definitely pull out, results, and I feel like this was a huge result. Without a Tuesta, without Araujo, right before kickoff. You would say, I remember your text. I was in the middle of doing something with my daughter, and I couldn't respond, but like I'm like, I feel like John's probably freaking out. Like, why are they not playing? But and I was the same way, and but they pull it through. It was the best defensive game. Now I do feel, and I don't know if you feel the same way. To close out the review for the Philly game, and I want you guys' opinion, and I will read the comments. I feel Luis Muriel Orlando had 2 chances or 3 chances during the game, and something tells me that they probably could have left some points on the table. I think Oscar talked about it in the post press conference. In the 70th minute, he failed to wrap his foot around on his shot, and it was too close to Blake. And then Pasalic and Ojeda kind of not understanding each other at some points. And then Gallese saves, obviously, those were tremendous. But I feel like if Orlando is able to, obviously, there's no perfect game, but it would have been a perfect game if one of those chances would have gone in. Don't you think, John?
Yeah, you can see on the momentum here. So that's exactly what you're talking about. This sort of little purple patch, which is actually purple for us. That's a common phrase. So this was our purple patch here. I mean, like a lot of I gotta say, a lot of that first half is just us, holding it down against a lot of Philly, and that's really like in those moments we've seen this year, we would just crumble there. And you have to go through those moments against good teams in order to be able to have the moment where you score at the other end, because you've absorbed so much pressure. It's all about, at what points of the game is which team on top. That was our moment there in the 70th minute. I think the Pasalic one, I think he regrets not putting that in, because it was a little, I don't want to question it, but it did seem like he could have hit it a little stronger, maybe, but also a great save by Blake. And then Muriel, yeah, I can say that. I think there were chances there we left. Paula, what do you think? Were you cursing at the TV that we didn't get that goal?
Oh my god. I was like my dog was like, "What is going on, mom?" But whatever. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100% with you, John. Like if we would have put one in the net, I would have been happier. Like people underestimate the point on the road, the 0-0, right? Is a freaking hard team to play against with. But I don't know if this happened to you, John and Luis, but from years prior, I didn't get excited when we had the ball as this year. Like that pass from Ojeda, when Ojeda cut through the defensive line and then pass it to Marco, I was like in the edge of my sofa. that I didn't felt that years prior. So typically it was the way around. It was probably the other team who was having this, offensive tackling and all that stuff. So I'm excited of what I'm seeing about this team. I mean, the cherry on the top was gonna be Marco putting that ball into the net, and that Ojeda transition that he fell in the box. I didn't felt that he was like on it. I don't know if he was like trying to look for somebody else and pass the ball, and then it was too late, and he tried to shoot and he couldn't even make the shot. So I mean, it is what it is, but I feel more comfortable and more excited this year than years prior. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think offensively we're finding our stride. I think this was a really complicated game with a team that's definitely going to compete for the championship. I mean, they look that they have everything, really, really good. They have a good coach. They have a good system. And for us, I think we're just on the up and up. Right now on the actual table, I don't know if you want to put the table there, John, real quick. We are. Oh man, look at Vancouver. We are we are six with 11 points. We're still 2 points away from Philly, 2 points away from Charlotte, 2 points away from Cincy. The Chicago Orlando game coming up is vital. Also, I think every single game moving forward is going to be very important. It's very tight. And if you look at the table, it's only like four. We're literally 4 points away from the top. Like literally, like it's really tight. And this is the MLS, guys. This is the East. If you look at the West, it's a completely different story. But I mean,
I feel like the table this week really just kind of normalized. I feel like
mhm,
up until this point, the MLS East table just looked crazy. You had stuff
yeah.
like Chicago in third and whatever. Like, and now it's sort of like all the teams down here at the bottom are kind of where you got your England's, your Toronto's, your Montreal's, your DC's. That's their bottom four for sure. And then up the top, you've got your Columbus, your Inter Miami, your Philadelphia's, your Charlotte's. That's kind of a lot of big teams that I was rating this year at the beginning of the year. And then a lot of the mid ground is still to be decided. We're in that, Cincinnati, the Rebels would arguably want to be up there. Nashville has shown some improvement this year and would want to be up there. Atlanta definitely going to get better and will be up there. Like, so it's very rough. And I think this shows, like you said, Luis, in the points and how tight it is, right? Like you've got so many teams on just a few points difference there in the middle of the table. So I really think it's going to be a tough year in the East for sure. And it started that way.
Um, People in Atlanta are screaming "laugh out." $48 million later,
No, bro.
laugh out, right?
The
Nine
price
points,
tag. They expect a goal every game. They expect Luis Muriel numbers, Yeah.
$48 million later. They got 9 points. I would, let's do some comments real quick. Vega, do you know when the transfer season ends? Well, the transfer window closes April 23rd at midnight. Salty H2, so they can still bring an under 22 initiative player if they wanted to. I mean,
We've heard nothing.
I've
I think
seen,
it's all just waiting till the summer now. I think they're happy
yeah,
enough and they'll just wait.
I've seen Nico Rodriguez is getting ready.
Yeah,
Nico
right.
Rodriguez,
Like Nico will come back. Like
he got
I
another
don't
haircut.
I don't know if Sukata is like the whole season out. Maybe he is.
I think so. But
Wilder
Probably.
is a.
Wilder,
I will tell you this:
probably maybe, but probably not.
Wilder is ahead of schedule, and
Okay.
that's good.
this is a first,
Wilder by playoffs, we're thinking.
probably. But now, obviously, the club's not gonna force him. But if you
No.
look at all the stuff that he's doing,
Yep,
he
that's true.
is he is
Yeah. He's really
definitely
working
ahead of
hard on
schedule,
it.
kind of like
Yeah.
Duncan.
Yeah. No, I see that.
Now, the one who's getting ready, and I think they told him that he needs to have a little bit more muscle on him.
It's Nico.
It's Nico. He got his fourth haircut. This time he went to Great Clips, Walmart, in the Walmart by Kirkman Road.
Oh, Luis, you
Um,
get me, bro.
he went there and he got his haircut, and he's getting ready, man. He's getting ready to, he's putting in some weights. He's doing
Bench press. I
some
saw
bench
him. I saw
presses.
him
Yeah,
doing bench presses.
yeah, like a kind of like in GTA. So pilot, haha, saw someone saying "papi out" after
Who
the
said
0-0
that?
draw. Oh,
Man.
tell him to stop smoking, bro.
I love
I went where
yeah,
they're smoking.
we got till April 23rd, and then if
Yep.
not, we gotta wait till July 24th. So I don't know. We
I don't
talked a
think
lot
nothing that's
about
gonna happen, yeah.
left back could still be a thing, but
Hopefully.
Breclo's showing he could play left back, so that's fine. But you know, we'll see.
Listen, JCB's 95. Buenas noches, everyone. Tough game, but always good to get points on the road, especially with these changes in the starting lineup. There you go, my friend. Thank you so much. Buenas noches. Yeah, so those will be all the comments so far. So we're going to go to our OCB moment. Obviously, OCB some had a first loss of the season against Chattanooga. Is that how you say it? Chattanooga?
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga faced off against Chattanooga FC at Finley Stadium, Saturday night, wearing the white kits. The Lions suffered the first loss of the season, falling 2-0, which brings their record to 2 wins, 2 draws, and 1 loss. This is the first, through the first 4 games of the season, essentially. So, yeah, I mean they have some. Gusky was not there, obviously. There were a couple of players that were missing. So I don't know. What are your thoughts of OCB, John?
OCB, yeah, I mean, I think there's a few things here. First of all, there was something really interesting that happened in the Open Cup, which kind of ties into this. So Chattanooga played, who are the MLS Next Pro side, in the U.S. Open Cup last week, played the Chattanooga Redbulls, which are a USL like League One side. And there was a lot of animosity between these two Chattanooga sides, mainly because of things that Don Garber had said a long time ago about the fact that soccer would never work in a place like Chattanooga, but that's neither here nor there. So there was really quite a heated game. And at the end of that game, the Chattanooga Red Wolves won. And it's a really interesting story. But the guy from the team decided to run out into the Chattanooga FC's midfield and try and plant the flag of the Red Wolves in the middle of the Chattanooga FC field. Go check it out. Google it. There's a really great social
Is
media
there a
all
video
about
of
this.
it?
I'll have to find the video.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously the players from the Chattanooga FC MLS Next Pro side were not happy about that. And there was this whole thing. It was the ref had to go sort it out. So that was all happened last week. So tensions in Chattanooga were high, right? And obviously this team had just lost. The opposing team, rival in their city, had tried to plant a flag in their middle of their field, and then OCB comes to town the next week. So you could tell they were kind of hyped, I think, for this one. Let's go beat OCB. And I think we played okay overall from what I can see from the team, but I think that probably played into how well Chattanooga played. Also, the field, and I know these guys are used to playing on turf, but it's not a great field there. Overall, OCB looked like they were having to defend a lot in this game, I would say, and it wasn't their best performance. And then the goals just kind of came at the end of the game. Just not, I wouldn't say really bad defending, but just some errors here and there, didn't pick up a guy in the box kind of thing. And then they lost this one 2-0 away at Chattanooga. But I wanted to give you that context as to why I feel like perhaps Chattanooga played extra hard in this game. And also the fact that, you can see they're doing pretty well in the season already. They had 3 wins. Sorry, they have 3 wins and a draw after this game. So they'd started well. They are like one of those teams that's actually a full professional owned team on itself. It's not just a B team. So yeah, I feel like not bad from OCB, but not at the level that we'd seen recently. So they need to shake this one off and go again.
Yeah, I mean, Orlando CDB's attack was active throughout the match. They, I think, had one more shot than Chattanooga and two more shots on goal. However, they had 13 shots total, and Chattanooga's pressure, it made their midfield like crumble essentially through the pressure and turn over the ball tremendously, and that's how they were able to score the goals and secure the 3 points. So I think April 9th, they have their next game against the New England Revolution 2, I believe. So, yeah, Taifi, he's having a tremendous season. I do want to give kudos to Taifi because, I mean, he's come a long way, man. I mean, he's definitely, putting a lot of good numbers lately. Justin Ellis, to me, again, look how much they rated Justin Ellis to me. And again, I say it again, this kid needs to be also have a chance in the first team. I mean, I think Justin Ellis is a huge promise for American soccer. Um, so and Mercado again, Mercado doing really well. So
Yeah.
good for them.
They changed up the lineup a little bit, made some moves here and there. Taifi was playing a bit further forward. Yeah, I mean, different center back partnership than usual. So
And my
not their
favorite player.
best game, but they did, like you said, Luis, they were in it. It wasn't completely out. And like their goalkeeper did have to make 7 saves for Chattanooga. So it just kind of, I think, fell apart at the end.
Clap, 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 clap your hands.
And
What happened to clap here? That was my
Clap here. Clap on, clap off. The clap here. There he is.
yeah, clap here, man. I mean, he's he didn't have a good game. I mean, look at that. He was really active
You
until
have
he
a
was
bad picture on. He has a better picture. This is not great. He's got a
yeah,
black
man.
eye.
He looks
Poor
like
Dyson.
Rico Suave right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Not
go.
anymore. Yeah. Angulo's play has dropped off this year, in my opinion. Air Vega, my dream is the Man City baller Kevin De Bruyne. Would you like Kevin De Bruyne? I don't know if I pronounced it right. I think I pronounced it
Kevin
right.
De Bruyne. De
De
Bruyne.
Bruyne.
De Bruyne. De Bruyne. Would I like Kevin De Bruyne? No,
No.
I would not like Kevin De Bruyne. Like,
apparently,
I
10
think
years ago, I would
there's
say so.
nothing that right now Atuesta can't do that like Kevin De. You know what I mean? Like I love. Don't get me wrong. Like the guy is an absolute baller, but I don't think a D mid like now in MLS. I think you have to put all of your DPs in the attack. I think they've shown over time that you can find guys in midfield and defense that can get good enough and be at the standard for the rest of the team, that everybody puts all their DP money mainly into a striker and wingers and like a 10. So I don't think that, I don't even know if he's going to come to MLS, bro. I have doubts. I think there's a lot of this, like, which MLS team's going to go to him? But like, he might just want to go play somewhere else in Europe. Like,
I saw news from our friends from a podcast in New York. I forgot their name, but apparently Miami is after him.
Yeah. They was talking about that, and people are like, how can they put that in the, I mean, they can't. They really, if they sign De Bruyne, it's not above board. There's no way.
No, to me, I feel like if I had the chance to be, a sporting director of some sort, I will have 2 DPs in the attack, 1 DP in the mid, and 1 DP in the defense. That will be me, and then in the back line, get MLS ready defenders. Like I will go poach. Hey, how much is St. Louis paying you? Okay, here you go. Come over. I will get Walker Zimmerman. He's been my obsession since the past 2 seasons. Come over to Central Florida, Walker. We'll get you. You can
I
come
do love
and
it.
go to
The
Lake
DP
Eola.
center back. I do love that.
Feed the
Yeah,
ducks.
but it just they don't. The teams that win MLS Cup don't always, It used to.
Yeah.
Like I always think about, some teams back in the day that they win MLS Cup, and yeah, they had DP center backs all over the league at that point, but less common now. Mm.
Yeah, that's right.
Alrighty,
And go ahead, John.
I was gonna say
You
we
want to say
ready to
something?
move on to Red Bulls, right?
That's right. Red Bulls. Tough game. Chupomoting again, part two. In this scenario, I feel Orlando City is coming with a lot of momentum. Um, it's a must-win game at home because of our, if Orlando wants to aspire for to be on the top of the table in the East, they need to beat the near Red Bulls, and it's feasible. It's just that the first time that we face them, we were getting better defensively, but I think after this test, which is Philadelphia, I think Orlando has proven that they can certainly defend very well. So if Orlando added playing at home with the wall and the fans, the 12th man, added high momentum defensively, and added they start clicking and getting chances as they did in the second half against Philly, Orlando can definitely win this game. Once and for all, I think it'll be a good, also be a good revenge tale of what happened in the Eastern Conference Finals again. I don't know. What are your thoughts? Are you hopeful as me, Paola?
Always, always hopeful. I mean, yes, it's gonna be another challenge team that we face on Saturday, but like you said, we have the wall, we have the people chanting for 90 minutes and more. We should get be having a victory on Saturday.
What about you, John?
Yeah, man. I mean, they've started okay, I guess. I mean, I'll show you here the Red Bulls. It's I don't know. Has it been that convincing? They've tied to look better. Like we had that tie with them 2-2. I generally felt like we could have won that game.
Yep.
They beat Toronto. They beat sorry, no, they did beat Toronto. They lost to
New
New
England?
England. That was a shocker last
Hmm.
week. They
That
lost to New England. I was like, you gave New England their first win, and their first two goals. They hadn't scored up until that point. They also lost to Cincy. Like, they beat Nashville. I guess that's kind of good. They got that draw with Atlanta. Last week, they managed to beat Chicago. That was a good result considering how well Chicago. But I think they're in that mid-range pack, right? I think they're gonna be like 6th to 9th kind of thing on the league, like they were last year. I mean, last year they finished 8th and they had that great run in the playoffs, but throughout this season,
they're a direct
yeah,
contender for
throughout the
us.
season they weren't that amazing, and I think their DPs like I'm not super convinced about Choupo-Moting. I still not convinced about Forsberg. I think they are like okay at times, but I don't think they're really highly productive DPs in this league. So, yeah, I think there's no reason why we can't win this game, man. I think it's there for us to win. I hope we win it, but we got to perform because, Red Bulls they're still good. I mean, that's the thing about the East. There's not even the bottom teams of the East are not super easy, and everyone else is a tough game.
Omar Valencia, to me, it's a player, 20-year-old Omar Valencia. He was signed by the Red Bulls. He was picked as the team of the match day 7th, with Carlos Coronel in the best 11. He's a left back, and that is an improvement from when we last faced them, because I don't think he was available.
No, I think Andrew was
So
talking about
he,
how he just wasn't good yet. Like he suddenly figured it out, I think.
yeah. So Omar Valencia is going to be part of this squad facing Orlando. He's coming on a high right now, which is a little different than when we faced them first. Um, Also, they're a tough team. They're a team that we definitely could beat, but also they're a team that as you've seen, they get in your head, especially Chupomoting. He gets into your head, tries to play dirty and be physical. He's been scoring, Chupomoting. So same with Emil Forsberg. He had a much better game against Chicago. So hopefully, and I'm thinking that that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to go back to a the Cesar Atuesta deal, and hopefully they're able to again do a tremendous job. Another player coming off the bench for the Red Bulls that's very influential coming in the second half. It's Peter Stroud. He definitely he definitely gave a run for his money when he played against Orlando. And Dennis Jengar as well. So these are players that we already know, that we've have tape on, and we been able to analyze. And we need to definitely be defensively sound. But more than anything, you saw how much Nealis was leaving space for Orlando. Same with Parker; they were leaving space for Orlando to attack. We need to take advantage of the set pieces, of the chances that we provide, because this is a team that could also punish you on the counter. So they've shown already through Chupomoting and Forsberg that they're able to definitely also do that. So it's going to be an even Stevens game, but it's a huge test for them because it's at home. And if we start getting stronger and we win this one, and then a couple of the teams above us lose, we're right up there, top five. Last year we were scraping for wins and draws, barely, even if people were screaming they were disappointed with the team's performance defensively. I think this year is a little different. The story changes a little different. So, what about you, John? What are your expectations out of this game?
I expect to win, for sure. I was just looking here at the stats. I was comparing. I think attacking wise, we are one of the best teams in the league right there. I think we've got that over the Red Bulls. They're more defensive than us, or have been, better defensively so far. But hey, look at what just happened last week against Philly with a shutout. So I definitely think we have all the tools to win this game. I think the thing that excites me the most about this is that we've got double their assists. And I think that really just shows like we have three DPs that are all threats and that are all attacking and that all play with each other. And I think they kind of have more like, yes, Choupo-Moting and Forsberg, but I feel like they're more individuals, and it's like often about their individual moments and goals. And I just don't think they're not, I don't think they're free flowing in the attack as much as we are. I think it's just, they need that sort of open space, like how Jengar got that goal against us last time. I think that's what we need to look out for. If we create an open game, they'll like that. I think that we need to possess the ball. I do remember last time we went there, we kind of let them have the ball a bit, and we kind of did that sort of like, we're going to counter against your counter. So maybe Oscar will do that, but I think at home, he's less inclined to do that. So I think we're going to see Atuesta out there holding the ball, really trying to build some attacks, but we got to be wary of the Red Bulls quick counter, because it'll come. Is Morgan back yet? That was the other one I was going to look for.
I don't think so. He's still out. I think. I don't know. Check.
Yeah, he's still out.
Yep.
He's doubtful. There's a lot of doubtful here. They might get older guys back. Who knows? Kyle Duncan, another one that plays like in the D mid or right back. So they've got most of their team. I think Lewis Morgan's the big miss at the moment. So, yeah, I mean, you kind of called out all of their threats, Luis. So, we know them fairly well. So it's, yeah, I think Edelman in the midfield is another thing too. So we gotta watch out for all of this. But it's no different from last week at Philly. I don't think this is a game at home. Everyone will be pumped with how we've been playing, with getting a couple of results on the road. Everyone will be happy to have the boys back, and I'm sure they'll be happy to be back. So, hopefully we can get that W. Do you want to do our lineup?
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually working on it right now. And just kind of want to read some comments before. Let's see here. It says, it says, Stream Jesus, let's get Anthony, former Man United. Sure. I will love Anthony. I think he's
No.
great. So TH2, I believe in our boys to win this one. There you go. I mean, we are playing in front of the wall, so I mean, it's a must win when it's at home. So I don't know if you guys agree with this lineup, but this is what I feel should be it. I would like to see this against the Red Bulls. Um, Gallese up top, Freeman, Schlegel, Jensen, David Brecalo on the left, Atuesta, Araujo, and Ojeda will be in the middle. I'm assuming they're going to be back. I think, hopefully. If not, we'll probably see Gerbe and Dagger again, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. Enrique, I would like to see instead of Ivan Angulo, and I mean, look at this attacking. Look at this attacking third, man. Enrique, Ojeda, Pasalic, Muriel. I mean, it's pretty stacked attacking third, but this will be my attacking third. Enrique, Ojeda, Pasalic, and then Muriel. Also, with the opportunity that in transition, Muriel can maybe have a little breather, and then Enrique could cover. So he will have that extra hand. Obviously, Muriel is not a defending-minded type of player, but it's a possibility. And then obviously in the second half, you'll see Duncan McGuire coming in as your 9, and then kind of giving Muriel a time to breathe. I don't know. What are your thoughts there, Paulo? Do you feel this is you want to change some of the names here?
No, I agree. Enrique should be starting there, and I have said it in pods prior that Angulo hasn't been himself this season, and I think he needs that competition of should I be in the starting 11 or not. So I think bumping him out just for a week, or not a week, for a game, I think, I don't know, he can get back to his mojo and start playing good. Or I don't know if the other team has watched him a lot and study him a lot, that knows how to, take the ball out of him. But I feel that Angulo needs like a competition, and Enrique could step up and be that. I remember that John has said it before, like, we want to see Enrique in the wing, and this is the opportunity to do it.
That's right. John, your thoughts? You want to make any changes to the starting 11?
No, I mean, I think last game with Brecalo being that left back, then he turns into the left center back of the 3, works well. And like we said, Angulo then should be dropping further a little bit to be that left wing back and really own that left side. So I'd love to see Enrique try and do that. I feel like Enrique does actually work pretty hard defensively. Whenever he's in the 9 spot, I always see him coming back to recover the ball. So I don't really have a question mark against that. I think he's fast enough. I just really want to see somebody own that left side the way that Alex owns the right side. Like, and if it's not going to be, Angulo, then maybe Enrique. The only other thing, and this is everyone's going to be like, what are you talking about? But, if we're going to end up in this kind of 5 back anyway, you could just start with that and double up and go Brecalo and Santos as kind of like the left wing back.
Santos as
and then kind of be double defensive that back way, and let Santos not have to be as defensive, but do what he wants to do and go up that left wing. Maybe, like, I can see Oscar doing that.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
But that is like, you're definitely a 5 back. You know what I mean? Right now, this is a 4 back that turns into a 5 back. But if we did that, you'd have to really, play it. So I know Santos could play left wing as well, so it wouldn't be a massive stretch. But if you want to left foot it on that side, you go with him. But I think Enrique should start, man. I'm with you. I think he deserves a chance in the left wing spot, and he's played there a lot and played well there in the past. So it really wouldn't be a shock. But shame Shakata isn't around, man, and shame Nico Rodriguez isn't ready, because this is like, somebody take Angulo's spot, please. Like, the guy is not performing, and I hate to see it, but he's fallen off.
And did you remember that Angulo, when he first came into the team, came in the second half and killed it?
I mean, and that's the thing. It's like the rest of the team is all up there right now, so there's no reason why Angulo shouldn't be performing. Like,
Right. So maybe that's what he needs to take, a little step back. Maybe you're coming with fresh legs in the second half and you're going to actually do great. I like this because also tactically it gives Orlando City firepower. When I say firepower, guys, is Tuesta can shoot from distance. He's been trying to shoot from distance in the past few games. Has come close, but not quite. You have Enrique that shoots from distance, especially on that side. Ojeda shoots from distance. Pasalic with his magic left foot. Muriel, so it's a firepower squad right there that if they want to offset pieces and going in transition and when the other team is hunkering down, they're able to punish you with a long shot from distance. We have not seen that often, but we've seen it this season, the past few games. So them trying. So I think this makes more sense in my opinion. Based on Angulo's recent performances, I think this to me is the starting 11. So um and it says, I believe in our boys to win this one, says Salty H2O. I think the game ends 2-0. So John, you want to take out our our predictions and then we'll do our predictions to close the
I
show.
was not ready today. Oh no. I'm feeling like this could be a lot of goals either way. I mean, I said that last week, and then look what happened.
What you said, 4-2 in the last game?
Yeah, he went all out in the last game.
We've been having big score lines, I did. You know what's so funny is I think I said on the pod, or I said to somebody jokingly, like, watch this be a 0-0. So I blame myself.
Oh, you blame.
Yeah,
so
I
you blame
because
yourself.
everyone's been talking about the goals are going to come, and then
Right.
yeah, but then that's when MLS throws you a 0-0.
There you go. So we have the score predictions here. So last game, you have me with the 2-1, John 4-2, and the actual Paula was 2-2
I mean,
as
I said
well.
a draw.
She was the closest. She did have a draw.
Does that still count? Just kidding.
I mean, that's closest, definitely. Yeah, you definitely.
Yeah, it's the closest.
I don't know if the end of the year I need to calculate points based on who got the result, win, lose, draw, who actually got it bang on. We'll see. We'll calculate something, but I think you should get a half a point for getting the right result.
She got one of those WWE belts and just say who's the champ and carry the whole year.
For the week. We should do that weekly.
Yeah.
Near Redbulls. So to me, my prediction is 3-1 Orlando. We get some firepower
Paula?
right there.
2-0.
You'll take that 2-0 action.
Oh, shout out.
You're there with Air Vega.
What about you, John?
I'm gonna take 3-0.
All right, 3-0 Orlando.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know why.
Air Vega says 2-0. 3-0. Why?
I don't know why. I don't know. I just feel like the clean sheet has come, and now I feel Pedro had a great game last game. I think David Breklo is solving our fullback situations. I think Redbulls are one of these teams that look, aren't as good as people think they are. Honestly, I think they're slightly overrated. So, yeah, I think we can hold them out, and I count on us for goals, man. A game where we didn't score goals means the next game we're gonna score goals.
Listen, if the boys listen to this pod, please win this game 3-0 for John. He's getting married, so he needs
there was that also
for
too. I was like,
wedding
I
gift.
gotta predict a really positive wedding day result, obviously.
Now, if you're watching and you're a player, make sure you put a shirt that says, John,
This is for you.
congratulations. And then when you celebrate, this is for you, John.
Yeah, that'd be appreciated. Thank you.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I'm sad I'm not gonna be at the wall, man. I know. I was like, maybe I could run there and then run back. I was like, no,
You
no.
bet you bet
Don't
you
do it,
would.
John. You
I
can't.
don't think
For
Stephanie
I
would
don't,
one
I don't think
day,
Steph would
scream.
be
for
that
one
crazy.
day, I should prioritize the
You come in your tux.
look. Soccer is the whole life. I've lived and breathed this thing.
Yeah.
I could take a break for a day.
That's epic. You come in the limo and stuff. It's like, I'm in the wall, man. Let me go.
I just come in my purple tux in the wall, my suit ready to go.
There you go. But anyways, we definitely wish the boys a phenomenal game. I think they're on to something. They're playing better. Everything's coming alive. I wanted to thank everyone for your support. This is Loud and Proud Orlando. We are live right now, about 45 people live. Thank you for your support. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media. We're here on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. We're on X at LPO_podcast, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as Loud and Proud Orlando. Subscribe. Drop us a comment, a 5-star rating. It will help us tremendously to grow. Anything else you want to add, Paula, before we
No,
go?
thank you for the support and vamos Orlando.
Where about you, John?
No, man, just excited to see y'all soon again in a couple of weeks. Get back in the stadium, but cheer extra loud and vamos Orlando.
Vamos Orlando, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you next week.